The thoughts in my head go round and round, round and round, round and round. The thoughts in my head go round and round all the goddamn day.
Imagine living in a world where nothing seemed to quite make sense, where your perception on reality was like that of being trapped in a funhouse, each mirror reflecting your perception more distorted and more contorted than the last. Imagine living in a world where it felt like you were trapped underneath a wave that took you out and you couldn't tell up from down. You couldn't tell how to get your head above the water. And each time you did, each time you were able to finally get your head above, another wave came along to just knock you right back down. Imagine living in a world where somebody continuously and repeatedly ran their nails down a chalkboard until the sound consumed you, overtaking every cell within your body. You could feel the sound emanating through every vein until you finally exploded, you snapped, only to be told that the sound never existed, that it never happened, that it was all in your head. Imagine having no ability to trust anyone else, and forget about trusting yourself because you doubted every decision, every choice, every move that you made, fearing that you may have to pay dearly for those decisions later. Imagine living in a constant state of confusion, a confusional nightmare, a nightmare that you couldn't wake up from. The survivors of narcissistic abuse don't have to imagine this world. They don't have to imagine it because they live it. They live it every single day. And to make matters worse, they are often left feeling like it's all their fault, like they deserved this, like they were the ones to blame. And they question themselves if they are in fact a narcissist, feeling as if you're the cause of the downfalls in the relationship, as if it's somehow your fault, and pondering over the idea whether you too have become a narcissist are of the major concerns survivors of narcissistic abuse find riddling their minds. This, like the many other ways narcissistic abuse affects and infects the survivors, doesn't come without rhyme or without reason. Enduring narcissistic abuse over time takes a hefty toll on a survivor, devastatingly impacting every component of their well-being and all aspects of their lives as they once knew it. The constant, continuous, and repetitive use of mind games, manipulation, demoralization, and devaluation physiologically changes the way in which your brain functions. It brings forth excessive levels of stress, elevating your anxiety, leaving you in a constant state of fight or flight, emotionally draining you, drowning you with depression, low self-esteem, and unworthiness, robbing you of your sense of safety, your ability to trust others or even yourself, and altering the ways you behave, from the narcissist provoking and training you, as well as maladapting different behaviors for your own survival and self-protection. Over time, survivors may exhibit behaviors, including, but not limited to, a willingness to do anything for acts of kindness, fine-tuning in on the needs of others, a can't say no and it's my fault or what did I do wrong syndrome, a need to stay busy, work hard, and prove your worth, becoming perfectionist, constantly overthinking, overanalyzing everything, and mirroring the narcissist, exhibiting narcissistic traits. Now, some of these behaviors, at a glance, may not seem too far off from
your typical behaviors. Some may even be considered a character quality. To a degree, many of them in fact are. However, it's when the behaviors cross that fine line of being a character quality and putting the needs, desires, and wants over others so far above your own that these qualities become self-sabotaging and hindering your own needs, boundaries, and values. Most of these behaviors are developed due to a combination of the provocation from the narcissist as well as a means to adapt for survival and self-protection. The narcissist strategically trains their targeted sources of supply to behave in certain manners by means of manipulation, using gaslighting, circular conversations, pathological lies, projection, and blame shifting to confuse the survivor's way of thinking, distorting their perception and contorting their ability to distinguish truthhood from falsehood. Having no accountability for their own wrongdoings, the narcissist placed the survivors at fault on every account. The survivor's acquired need for the narcissist's approval and validation, in concoction with the constant insinuations that they are to blame, eventually lead to their taking ownership of the fault time and time again, apologizing unnecessarily in attempt to regain the peace or end a silent treatment that they have been given for being firm with a boundary or questioning the integrity of a narcissist, going above and beyond to prove their worth, offering praise to show their love and to soften the mood of the narcissist, which works for a while. But at some point, no amount of praise, no amount of love or effort is ever enough. The insults and degrading remarks become too much, using them like a cattle prod, poking and poking and poking until the survivor literally can't take any more. They become unraveled, they snap, they begin to maladapt and mirror the narcissist. This is often provoked in higher frequencies by the narcissist during the discard phase of the relationship, which is why many survivors are left with that nagging feeling that they are at fault, and they become plagued with the worry if they are really the narcissist, if they have become the very thing that brought them down. The answer to this is simple, regardless if the concern is anything but that. In fact, the question alone is all the proof you need. The question alone proves you are not the narcissist. If you were, you wouldn't be asking. You wouldn't care. You wouldn't be held accountable. Narcissists don't have object constancy. Therefore, they don't have guilt. They don't have remorse. They don't have shame, nor do they take the blame. It's the manipulation, the insinuations, and the depleted sense of value and worth that is allowing this impending doom of becoming the monster to invade your mind. None of this is your fault. None of it. You didn't create the monster that they are. It is not your job, nor is it in your ability to save them or fix them. You can't. You can, however, save yourself. You can fix the pieces they intentionally set out to break on you. You can consciously control these developmental changes in your behavior. Now, it's not going to happen overnight, and it's not going to be easy, but you absolutely can. Absolutely can. You deserve so much more than the narcissist will ever be able to give you. Remember that. Remember you're enough, that you were always enough. Remember who you are and fight for that person. Save that person. Accept that they are what they are. Because until you do, until you accept this, you will be stuck in this god-awful, abusive nightmare of a relationship. You will allow the trauma bond to maintain this suffocatingly tight grip that it has on you. You will be trapped under that wave, never able to keep your head above the water. You will deny yourself free
a chance to find love within yourself and the happiness, the contentment, and the life that you were born to live and that you deserve. Let go of the limited beliefs that the narcissist has been implanting in your mind. Let them go. Let them go. Accept who they are, what they are, and love yourself. Love yourself enough to be free. For more information about narcissistic abuse, watch this next.